Normal feats for archery. That's what I thought. But we can't presumably take archery because archery isn't a normal combat feat. We can't take that normal, right? It's not. Can I take archery as a regular feat, chat? I probably can't, right? Because this is not actually archery either. It's called something else, right? This is combat style. I presumably can't take combat styles as a regular feat. Combat style decides all future Slayer feats. Does it really? Complicated build. All right. So if I took this, I would get this now, which is one of these. So, okay, so I'm thinking of this as like wet fighting styles from 5e, and it's not. It's not, I'm not getting +2 to accuracy on a bow permanently that I can't get in another method. What I'm actually doing is I'm unlocking a series of things relevant to the Slayer. So if I take menacing here instead, what the fuck does menacing do? Menacing is just a subcategory of one of these three. And then I have to take either Dazzling Display, which I don't want, Power Attack, which does nothing for us, or Intimidating Prowess, which is good. We could take Intimidating Prowess. And then what does this actually read? It reads that on the 6th level, I can add Smash or Shatter defenses, and on the 10th level, I add Carnage. Is that correct? And what do I get it for free, or do I get it as my Slayer feat at 10? Get it as a Slayer feat. All right, I hope I'm not fucking this up right now, because I'm not sure I'm not. All right, we bet on 2 hours of respecking. Let's see if I can get there. All right, fine. Sure, it's 100% okay. Easy Intimidating Prowess. We know we want this feat, so that seems good. Okay. What's up next? Slayer again. All right, we just picked up Sneak Attack, which feels good. Still leveling Perception and Persuasion. Feels medium. Still getting 2 per round. Still half health. That's all fine. All right, so we're up to our next regular feat, which needs to be Precise Shot, so we can do something. Need it now. Not going to be getting this through. We're going to see what our next Slayer feats are limited to in a minute, so that should be good. All right, that's level 4, I believe. Okay, and then Slayer for 5 again here. Also taking these, we should get a stat point, which goes into Dex for accuracy. Then here. Accomplish gives an extra 2d6. Accomplish gives an extra 1d6. Anyways. Take a look. We can see it in a second. So now, okay, I don't understand where these things come from. But what else are we? Okay, so we have these. This is now, I guess, we're restricted to these because they're level locked at 6 and 10, I think. Reactions is maybe usable. Can let people stand up with it, which is nice. Can transfer debuffs on us. Don't care about this. Okay. Weapon focusing our bow could be reasonable, but presumably I can do this with regular feats. What combat tricks are currently available? Combat tricks are another subset of feats that I don't know what those are. Is there any restrict? I'm not gonna it's not gonna lock out later ones now, right? This is just available at this moment. We can push our archer progression. but can we push any portion of the Intimidate progression? Presumably no. So let's say, for example, I wanted this. Requires the prerequisites that we don't have. Okay. All right, so what are the feats that we actually give a shit about, chat? Good. I mean, if we're just pushing archer progression, sure. We pick up rapid shot or the other one, right? We already have precise. Precise we picked up last level. So we have currently point blank and precise, as well as skill focus persuasions are freebie. I don't know, for example, can we double down on a skill focus? We can't probably skill focus this again, right? Okay. So what then would be nice? Weapon focus actually seems like a big one to me. I don't know. What is locked behind weapon focus for bows, chat? Yeah, I know what rapid shot does. How would I want this out of here. This is guys going for now. Okay. Greater weapon focus, which is a combat feat, I think. It's a fighter thing, greater weapon focus. Can you even get that as non-fighter? Yeah, but I thought you can't. These are all great, but we're not going to be able to get these because these are prereq something else. These are basically, we have to take these as feats later, maybe? I'm not sure. I totally understand this. So this one is interesting. I'm not gonna try for improved criticals on this character. It's not. I'm gonna do another character doing improved criticals. So slow reactions seems like a nice rider effect. The ability to selectively disable attacks of opportunity on an opponent seems great. There's no roll on this either. I just have to hit with a sneak attack, which is going to be all of our attacks likely. Although I don't know, do down characters provide flanking bonuses or no? I don't know. I don't actually know about that. Yeah, you do. So yeah, there is something to be said about slow reactions. I mean, that is one of the things that I've said repeatedly that I wish I could have on my characters as a way I can get them to stand up without getting fucked. Now, we can do this with Blind, we can do that with Grease, but it's still nice. So the question is, do I have to take these for weapon progression? Because I might have to take these for weapon progression first. Because what other ranged attacks are we going to want? We're going to want rapid fire. Presumably we can pick that up at 5. What other bow stuff are we going to want? We're going to want whatever ranged power attack is. I've forgotten what it's called. We don't have that right now. What is ranged power attack called? Deadly aim. But randomly picking up some non-prereq right now could certainly fuck the build. And then we'd have to do this again, and then like half you would lose your points again, despite having the easiest bet of all time to win points. I need to know which bow feats are walked behind weapon focus. Are there any? Presumably our power shot, or whatever the fuck it is going to be called, is going to be locked behind that deadly aim. Be nice, man. That would be nice. I'm checking combat trick. Okay. Take a look then. Alright. Armor proficiency, back-to-back, blind fight, combat reflex. Deadly aim is locked behind Dex and base and Bab. We can get that already. We could get that now if we wanted. Get it off the combat trick. We don't care about dodge, exotic weapons. We care about improved initiative, always a nice one. We could try to, but this feels like another one of these ones that's not a prerequisite thing. It's just a really nice quality of life improvement. That's the additional sneak attack damage. But that's for melee. That's irrelevant to us. That's not what I thought it was. Rapid shot's the other one we could pick up now. It lets us double round attack. It's probably fairly good on this character, especially since we're approaching 7, which means we can accuracy buff as a free action. Don't care about any of these. have those. Then which of these do we care about, if any? Care about clustered later, requires precise shot, point blank. Have? Okay. Point blank 2 fighter only as well. I think it is. Yeah, we do want many shot. That's 3 archery talents we not. Now there's point blank master is fighter. Didn't take weapon spec range, did we? Took the intimidate weapon specs. We're not going to be picking that up. So it's just these 3, right? Yeah. What's weapon spec? Weapon spec is fighter only damage. So thinking about progression here, if we took rapid shot now, we could take many shot at 5, which seems kind of fucking nice. Many shot prereq is BAB 6 or at 7. Don't we hit BAB 6 directly at 7 too? Oh, we're at 4 though, not 5. It's at 6. Although presumably we're going to want to take our next line of the intimidate line at 6 because it was 4 6 10, right? 6 10 or something. Full BAB, so BAB equals level. Yeah, sure, but I mean for. Yeah, I just meant, do we have the prerequisites for BAB met at 7? And the answer is yes. So in other words, is there a benefit right now to taking this feat? Maybe not, because we can take multi-shot at, we can take whatever at 5 and then multi-shot at 7, right? Because this is just the other one. So what is the third one? Clustered shots that has that one. What's oh, this is the one that ignores DR. Or rather, reduces DR, so it's only a single thing. I don't know that I need to rush this. Yeah, do you guys understand the dilemma we have right now? You guys know why I'm cautious about this? You get what it is, right? We have a limited number of the Slayer feats. The Slayer feats ignore prereqs in some way that I don't fully understand yet. While we have a pretty standard progression of regular feats, and that these ones can be the bow feats, right? So the bow feats we can meet. If we already meet all the prerequisites in a round, for example, if we take this one as multi-shot or whatever it's called, double shot, whatever the fuck it's called, that one is triple shot, and that one is the one that ignores DR, those are fine. We may not need to touch our Slayer feat progression for this. There might be Slayer things in there, but we also want, so those are the 3 bow things we absolutely want, which we could have online by 9. And then we could get improved initiative over here too, for example, and then we might be able to do something like taking slow reactions, which is a Slayer, which is limited to these types of feats now. Would be cool. Yeah, the DR one could be good too, right? So it's the question of, do we need to focus in here? Did weapon focus do anything for us? It is +1 bonus roll, which seems great. Combat choices is limited. Shh. Please. Yes, I understand that combat tricks are a subset of feats, but but it's still using our Slayer one, right? So, like improved precise. I think all those are not available to us, right? Any of the improved ones are fighter only, right? But I don't think we get to take that. I don't think it's relevant. Oh, that one's not though. What's the level restriction? BAB of 11. So we're a million years off this still. I see this in game. I know. Yeah, I swear weapon focus was a prereq for something. What am I forgetting that has a prereq as weapon focus? Any of them? Maybe that was just the melee line? It is accuracy, and accuracy's got to be valuable. Dazzling Display. I don't think we have to take Dazzling Display, right? Right, we're going to skip this one. It's a pretty shit ability anyways. Really what you're using it for is a prereq. And if it has a feat prereq, we don't care about it. Yeah, exactly, because we ignore it because we're getting it through Slayer stuff, so we don't care about the feat prereq. The question is, do any of these require? This requires rapid shot, and what was rapid shot requirement? I think we already met it, so I think it's up here somewhere. Rapid shot requirement was no prerequisite apparently. Although this is a Slayer feat, so maybe we're just ignoring it. If I take a bow feat here, I can take the extra sneak attack at 5. Yeah, that's when does this all come online? It's definitely safer to take these fucking bow feats. Well, faster. I don't know if it's safe. Slayer combat trick doesn't ignore prereqs, only Slayer combat style. That's actually extremely helpful as a clarification. So all we've ignored then is whatever the fuck this one does for us, which is, I'm not even sure where I see that one. That one is that, right? Okay. What we're actually going to get then is we're going to get, I think it's, I wish it told me what these ones were, but it's whatever the next one of these is at 6, and then the last one of those at 10. Because you went with Intimidate combat style, we don't need Dazzling, correct. But do we need anything else in here? It doesn't look like it. So we can probably just take fucking Rapid here. We want Deadly Aim too, though. You care which one we take first? Yeah, let's take Rapid first. They're both minus modifiers, so it's a little painful. Alright, I think that was a conversation, chat. Now, if you didn't keep up with that conversation, just enjoy the class building, I guess. Alright, anyways, good? Alright, I think I can do that. I think. And then we can maybe get all the riders later, all the cool status effect things later. All right, last level in Slayer here. Grabbing, study target. Oh, we might be 1 level. I can't remember 5 or 6. Might be 5. Okay. Weapon focus is necessary for weapon spec. Dazzling display. Weapon spec is fighter only though, right? Dazzling display, greater weapon focus, and improved critical. Ruined? It could be ruined. Alright. Alright, so now we're back here. So, weapon focus that bow. It feels like +1 accuracy roll is just good, man. So we might have, we probably have the Deadly Aim available. We might have Rapid. Rapid might have a, I gotta look at Rapid's prereqs. Not Rapid, the other one, the third one. Clustered shots is the DR removal. Or DR reduction anyways. And the third one is called clustered shots, maybe? What is the last one called, chat? The third one? Many shot. Yeah. I hope you're not new to this gaming system, because good luck ever memorizing this level of feats. Okay, many shot here. That requires BAB 6, so we can get that at 7, but we can't get it before. Okay. Alright. So we should make the decision right now between +1 accuracy or -2 accuracy plus damage. Probably want them both eventually. I think we take the accuracy first. Is +1... +1 has got to be good enough, right? Just good enough. Do we have to specialize longbow versus bow? Oh no, please tell me this also includes... I think I've had this issue before. Do we have to specialize longbow versus shortbow? If the answer is yes, I may not take this. Aren't we currently equipped with a boss level shortbow though? Longbow includes composites. What about composite short bows? The longbow? Isn't it a short bow? Longbow? We're going to check that, chat. If you're wrong, we're going to have a conversation about respecing the opportunity cost of only playing respec streams. EKP minus, not wrong. All right, so let's take a look at the bow that we have. Not that one. That one. Savage bow, composite longbow. I thought it was a short bow. Okay, cool. All right, so we have our savage bow user. Savagely bowing people. 16, 20, 10, 7, 7, 14. Perfect. All right, one done. Okay. All good bows are longbows. Good news. All right, one down. Save. One down, easy game. Okay. All right. Look at our will saves. No, I have more will than that. All right. Let's take a look then. So we're happy with Niabla's, happy with chat's cleric. Well, I mean, as happy as you can. Such a fucking character. We're going to respec Thaddeus. We're doing that last. So the next respec is the Inquisitor goes. And the Inquisitor goes as a... Dude, it goes up 10k per respec. Imagine living in that world. Fuck that. Right. What do we want to do with this character? This character is the kineticist. All right, Joas, you here, buddy? Because I'm a bit concerned about this one. This is our dwarf kineticist. All right, I've never built a kineticist. I love the fact we're playing dwarf. This was the selling point for me, was dwarf. All right, male, sure. Ace, perfect. All right, hard decisions out of the way. Let's do the easy stuff. Kineticist. Do I have to splash for this? I gotta go check. I think it might be one splash in monk or something crazy. This is a spec I don't want to cross class. Maybe it's not that then. This 20 kinetic knight. Okay. One monk if you want to go melee tank. I am going melee tank. All right. Not doing any monk. Great. All right. Well, that makes that simple then. For build, no, we're not going to. Going kinetic knight though, right? Features and ability. We've got a green hole. Burning. Things that are good, I think. Okay. All right. That block. Let's take a look. Ooh, you know the best part of this character is, chat? It adds one more name back into the pool of things that we can do. All right. Knight. Morph. Recommended stat build is 11, 17, 20, 20 con is thick. 7 and 8. All right, chat. When you guys submit builds, can't always take the MC. We're a condex build. Right. But we're gonna need some strength. We're gonna wear heavy armor on this, bro. Like, I don't want fatigued. Alright. 8 charisma just ain't happening. Let's hope charisma is not relevant to anything. This supposedly becomes a dex build later, actually. What I was reading. Right, so we need one more point here. Have the primaries. Presumably we just drop strength down by 1. And then move wisdom up by 1. Call it a day. Pretty sure we need strength for we need strength for what kind of character is this? This is a dwarf kineticist. Don't wear heavy armor since you have dex. Wrong. The kinetic knight requires heavy armor, chat. This is definitely a heavy armor build. Holy shit, chat, please. Alright, ready? I know it's a kineticist. But let's see if I can find the thing that matters here. Somewhere in here. Proficient with medium and heavy armor, gains elemental defense. There might be, I don't remember what it is. There's too many things in here. Yeah. There isn't. All right. Okay, but okay, sure. So, assuming we're gonna switch to Dex an insane late game, which I'll believe it when I fucking see it, but maybe we will. Are we okay with these stats? Like, where else would we put these stats? These are very close to the stats I was suggested. 11, 17, adding 1 later, 20, 7, 10, 8. I mean, I'm not going to remove strength for charisma on this character, right? I don't think we're not going to move this down, even if we're not using heavy armor, which we are. I think this is fine. Okay, anyone know the skill progression of kineticists? Like how many skills I get? Looking at this, it's 2. It might just be 1. We might only get 1 out of this. Pretty painful. We not need 13 int. Doesn't look like it. Because there's no way I'm getting 13 int on this as well. Not with anything resembling these starting stats. I'm okay with this. These are pretty sad. What skills do we want here? We're gonna get 1. Not persuasion. Dude, look at the kineticist. It has no skills. So like we built an overpowered combat character. The rest of your team can do fucking skill monkeying. Don't think we need a random. I mean, what are our perceptioners right now? We have. Isn't this the OP resummoner respec? How the fuck do we even have this? Currently, we've got Cat's Cleric, Baracus, and Miklas. All reasonable. All right. So presumably we want magic device then, which is okay. Can we? What is his magic device restrictions, chat? I don't actually understand how this ability works. I thought this ability was essentially if you have a high enough one of these, you can make rolls to use scrolls from different classes. The rest of the time, you're restricted to your class. I don't really understand how this works. So he's always going to be magic device rolling to use any magic device because he doesn't have innate skill spellcasting. Is that correct? Okay, I don't want to use that then. Do we need any of these stats for any reason? So we're running perception then? Is that the only one we care about? Our skill monkeying got a lot worse. Mobility for fighting defensively? Okay. At least mobility 3 then. Okay. Right. You gonna swing? Does he swing or does he cast in melee? Presumably with the fucking magic sword shit he swings. I guess. Alright. Weapons, finesse. Blade, earth. Blade's not an option. Go earth. Right. Okay. We need a name, chat. This is the opened donation slot for this character. This character will be wearing heavy armor for the bulk of the game. It's an Earth Kineticist. I have no idea if it'll be good or not, but we're taking OP Summoner and making it someone else. So the first dollar donation of the naming stuff will hit this one. We need this set before we can go any further, because unfortunately we need all of our characters renamed now. That's Chat's Cleric, because when we recreate Chat's Cleric, we'll also name them. But I think we have everybody else in here still, right? We have, I think we have currently it's Diablos, Thaddeus, Baracus, Miklas, Chat's Cleric, and this person. I'm gonna let my wife choose a name if we don't get there, and it's gonna be obnoxious. Actually, she's in class right now. Maybe I can't do that. We'll make Chat's Cleric interesting. No, I make no promises. Can we get that? Can we hit that? Can we hit a character name out of this? Anyone? Going once.
The path is clear.
Someone else would make better use of this.
I feel faint.
I'm not touching that.
Are all dwarves grumpy? I'm not sure.
Let us bide our time.
Let's shake a leg.
I'll take care of it.
Enemy near.
Like, no. All right. So what would be the most that we could do with this? I think we do want heavy armor on this, but we'll see. Name is based on alignment.
A generous bestowal.
Yeah, that's an awkward moment. I hate asking for that, but I do like the characters to all be named. Thank you, Tragic Booty. I appreciate it, man. All right, perfect. Tragic Booty, I think, is a good tank name too. All right, sold. All right.
I feel faint. Everyone counts on me.
Damn it all.
All right. Do you have a alignment preference, Tragic Booty? Do we need an alignment for this class at all? It doesn't say anything about alignment, so presumably not. All right. Not perfect.
March, march. All I do is march.
All right. All right, more kineticists. Let's level it up. All right, we're not getting any of these. We only get 1 skill point. Easy perception. Oh wait, no. Easy mobility to 3, I guess. All right. Get our first. I don't know what this is. Is this a kineticist feat? Wild talent. Okay. Uses wild talents, magical like abilities similar to spells, but drawn from kineticist innate psychic talent and unusable at will. Wild talents are typically spell-like abilities. Take a standard action to use unless otherwise noted. Every wild talent has an holy fuck, the amount of text in this tooltip. Every wild talent has an effective spell level. A kineticist can always select first level wild talents, but she can select a wild talent of a higher level only if her kineticist level is at least double the wild talent's effective spell level. I'm not reading any more of that. All right, we're taking our 2/3 rule and we're applying a 1/10 rule to any card over a certain length. For now. Okay, let's hope the build suggested enough of this trip. You want me to take trip here? Trip's not an option. That makes it harder. Perhaps not impossible. You form a friendship with a fragment of your element. Okay. Kineticist bonus feat Earth. Probably where we're going. I just want to look up the other ones. Skilled kineticist. In a bonus equal to 1/2 your kineticist level on skill checks with the skills your primary element added to my class skill list. Did we add something to our class skill list? All right. I like how the tutorial played us fire and water kineticists, so we've chosen earth. Play this. Okay. What other prereqs of this? Just kineticist level. Do we have aerial adaptation? Oh, has air as part of that. Speak with dirt seems oddly useful. It does seem like it'd be relevant a lot, doesn't it? All right. And that is bonus feat here. Really? We have the options of what's endurance? Okay. Okay, we can sleep in light armor, but not heavy armor. That's trolly. 2 bonus to all fortitude saving throws sounds great. Do we get this later? I don't know. Yeah, 10 apparently. We're taking trip. We skip combat expertise by being kinetic warrior. Okay. All right. I wanted to use trip, but every time I've looked at it, it seemed really bad. All right. All right. I'm gonna trust Joas. He's not led us astray yet. Occasionally we have some differences of how I want the thing to behave, but presumably synergetic build in his own character could be good. Tragic Booty, you're on if your character doesn't perform as you would like it, having no knowledge of what the character does, and certainly no knowledge of Filthy's ability to play this character, just let Joas know that he's made a mistake, okay? Alright. Move forward. Yep, Knight's Resolve. Fun. That's right, all complaints to Joas for this build. And if we have to respec again and you guys don't like that, blame Joas. If you do enjoy another respec build after this, I'll take credit though. Okay, mobility to 3. Fair and balanced. All right, what are we doing here? Weapon focus kinetic blast. Wait, what else do we have available? Hold on. Fury's Fall. Add your dex bonus. Weapon focus. Okay. I'm not going to read through the rest. Gore, heavy crossbow, javelins, kinetic blast. Okay, sold. Yeah, we'll argue and shout 30 minutes from now for sure. It will be good though. I need to learn the kineticist a bit more. That seems like a reasonable thing to try. The whole point of respecking is for fun characters and figuring out the content and figuring out the game system. So sure. It hits the reasons to respec for us. We have a character that I don't like, OP Summoner, who's strong but kind of boring, and we need to fill the off-tank role. So trying a class that I've never played to do that seems great. Okay, what are we doing with these stat points? Presumably we're getting dex to 18, I imagine, with that. Like, that's very likely. And then we raise con after. That's fine by me. I like a con-based character. It's nice. Right, let's roll perception now. Are we done with, do we need mobility past 3, chat? Does mobility past 3 do anything for defensive fighting? It doesn't, right? All right. So do we need anything else here? Like, where's athletics coming from now? We're going to fail every athletics check from now on. Does this guy need to be athletic? Based on strength? Maybe our dumped fighter will have lots of skill rolls. Athletics plus world, we're from getting element earth. Okay. I mean, we are going to be moderately, no, not intelligent, moderately wisdomed. So I don't care about persuasion or use magic device on this character. It really comes down to perception versus athletics here. We're going to have no one else skill monkeying athletics. There's an armor check penalty in athletics though, which is going to screw this character pretty heavily since they're in heavy armor. I can take that off before I do it. It's just a kind of a pain in the ass. Diablos is +4 on this already, but that's just level ups, right? I mean, Thad maybe ends up high enough on this that we use him instead. I wouldn't hate another perception roll here. So it's really between perception and athletics. They're both going to be slightly reduced. How much does heavy armor weigh? I don't know. This is not a fighter. All right, but you think Thaddeus should do that, you're saying? But Thaddeus won't get that either, Crip. He's a two-handed fighter, I believe. All right, I think this is perception. I will listen to athletics if any of you guys have strong sentiments about it, but I think this is perception. Any thoughts? No thoughts? Okay. mean, maybe not though. I mean, Thaddeus's build. Thaddeus was leveling Persuasion. He doesn't have to anymore because we switched this over. I think that's okay. Roll Persuasion instead. Or not Persuasion. Alright, yeah, if we die to athletic rolls, it's going to be a little bit frustrating for sure. Alright. What am I choosing here? I thought I already chose. What is this? This is level 4. I just had to make a decision earlier. Okay. Level 4, we've got Dex plus Greater Trip. Greater Trip is a... How do I find Greater Trip? Full focus. Negative. The bonus feat again. Ah. So it is. Okay. All right. This flesh stone. Your skin hardens like stone, dampening the loins of those around you. Gain DR1 for versus adamine weapon. Okay, sure. Great. All right, moving on. Perception. We have a trip belt. I didn't know this character was going to build trip too. Good, we'll get to test that as a useless fucking mechanic. Fury's Fall Bowling Infusion. Wait, the dwarf goes bowling? I mean, it's a definitely a DLC character. Okay. Fall. Fury's Fall there. Here, because it's trip. You can use strength and agility to send foes. Great. Alright. Infusion. So I guess this line then is this line. An infusion is not... Wow. Okay, what a class, man. Look at the number of... Every other class is like 4 to 6 of these things. This guy's got like 9 or something. 4, 5, 6... 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Excuse me. Alright. Got 11 of these. He's getting 3 feats as earth feats every other level. Wild talent feats. And we've just now picked up infusions. Okay. We have, let's see what we're choosing between when we take bowling infusion here. We could have pushing infusion. What does it do? Long spell card. All right, what's the first? We'll use this as the third we don't read. All right, elements, air, earth, or water, substance infusion, associated blasts, saving throw none. The momentum of your kinetic blast knocks foes back. Attempt the bull rush combat maneuver check against each target damaged by your infusion blast using your constitution mod instead of your strength mod. So we can, as part of our attack roll, shove shit based off con instead of strength. I believe Bull Rush triggers attacks of opportunity, although I'm not entirely certain about that. We can certainly push people into pits if we were so inclined. We could think about adding pit if we wanted. Okay. All right, what is pushing? That was pushing infusion. Entangling Infusion does what? Saving throw reflex, which negates it. Your kinetic blast surrounds your foes in elemental matter. Whenever a blast with this infusion deals damage to a foe, the foe becomes entangled. If the foe is already entangled and fails its save, the increased amount of elemental matter fuses to the ground. No more water in that chat. Alright. Tangle was an annoying debuff, but it mostly fucks casters, it looked like, because it adds the fail chance to spells. And Entangle is one of those ones where the tooltip's like 3 tooltips deep to actually find out what it does. So we're alternately rooting people that we're already in melee range and attacking with, who are presumably hitting us, or we are sometimes debuffing them with something. I don't even remember the debuffs are. It's like saving throws, arcane spells, and something else, I guess. And what does bowling give us? All right. If we pick up a bowling spec tank. All right, associated blasts, earth, magma, metal, and mud. I don't know what these other ones are. Presumably we're in earth-based. You bowl over foes with the sheer mass of your kinetic blast. Attempt the trip combat maneuver check against each target damaged by your infused blast. Oh, nice. Using your con modifier instead of your strength modifier to determine your combat maneuver bonus. It seems very important to the fact that we just picked up trip like 5 times. Why do we have to have these trip talents then? If we were already doing that off Kinetic Blade. Like, why have we taken... Oh, because these do different things. This one adds bonuses. What are the bonuses? Target has more than 2 legs, add DC. You can attempt to trip your opponent in place of a melee attack. If your combat maneuver is successful, the target is prone. So this one is, 2 bonus to CMD when performing this maneuver and 2 bonus to CMD when defending against it. So this is 2 CMD. This is another 2 CMD, and we get free attacks on foes you knock down. Okay. And this one actually lets us hit our trips. Okay. Seems cool. It's different. I like it. It's a mechanic our off tank does when he's not just absorbing damage by getting hit. Fine. Okay. Alright. We only have 1 character left to go. What's our timing like? Are we going to hit the 2-hour mark, or is it going to be close? Can I fuck a selected few of you guys while promoting a different selected few by finessing this right now? 15 minutes left. All right, can we do Thaddeus in 15 minutes, chat? Oh, and then we have to respec the save file. All right, let's tutor for 40k gold. Thaddeus. All right. I think the biggest counter trip's going to be the insane CMD defense and this difficulty, but we'll see. Okay, Thaddeus was a thug fighter with Intimidate, and now is just the fighter without Intimidate. I think fighter is probably going to be most beneficial to be human here, but I would listen to other arguments for why not to be human. Seems like we're going to want a fuck ton of feats here. He's going to go crit plus cleave spec with a reach weapon. And I think we're going to run Bardiche, or not Bardiche, Focard as well, the exotic one, right? Yeah, I hope we don't fight an enemy who's immune to prone, because I think every one of our stuff goes wrong. This is probably human fighter, right? Fighter already gets a feat every level. Yeah, you know what happens if I take human fighter? He gets more feats. Right. Why no bards? I hate music. People who like music. People who make music. They're like... I haven't seen, because the bards don't seem that good to me. They just, the 2/3 caster stuff isn't really doing it for me. I did look at maybe respecking the dragon disciple, who's currently monk sorcerer, considering making him monk bard instead of monk sorcerer, but the 2/3 spell progression as opposed to 3/3 spell progression kind of turned me off that a little bit. So. What bonus stats? No bonus stats. Human and I guess Azamar maybe could get us some bonus stats, like 2 to an off spec. I mean, we could maybe consider Azamar. It's in there. Yeah, we're going crit spec. Wait, that's what Focard does? Oh, I thought, okay, I guess I don't know then. What exotic weapon, do we even need an exotic weapon if we're going reach? Because kind of what I was thinking to do with the reach weapon was just a fuck ton of attacks with cleave and a huge amount of damage off crits. It seemed kind of like what we wanted, just like a face roll fighter. Seemed like we could maybe do that in 15 minutes, but that was 10 minutes ago, so I don't know. We need another portrait though, for sure. This that looks human, maybe. All cards have the crit range. Yeah, okay, so we're doing the right thing then. I thought that's what I want. I want the extended crit range. The left one down. Can't make sense of that direction. The left one down. I don't know what that means. All right, so we're considering human, but we could be talked into Azamar. There is that sweet, sweet flying trait off Azamar. I guess I could briefly check what the Azamar races give us in terms of strength. I think Tiefling has a strength one too. We're gonna go fighter. Yeah, we're gonna take the crit feats on this character since we don't have to build Intimidate anymore. So we're gonna build Cleave out and then start working on crit. 5 minutes for the prediction to be over. It's going to be close. It actually wasn't a bad prediction. But I think we're going to get screwed by Thaddeus. I mean, typical experience though, right? Going two-handed fighter because we want these things. Okay. All right. If we go Azamar, Wisdom, Charisma, Strength, Charisma, Int, Charisma, on Charisma, on Wisdom, Charisma. I don't even know what our secondary stats are going to be. I don't think this matters. I think we're single. I think we're sad. I think Thaddeus is sad, right? Single attribute. We only care about strength with like resist rolls, I guess. Do we want him to match his portrait? Yes. Maybe we could just default match his portrait. Like the portrait doesn't have like presets. I mean, he hasn't dyed his hair since then, has he? Hair color. What color is that? That's purple. Be black. Good enough. Alright, he's aged a bit. His hair got greasier. He hasn't had a shower in a while. Good enough. Okay. Alright. Strength, a bit of dex, a bit of con, and some int. Yep, that could be reasonable. What's the base roll on skills for a fighter? It's quite a lot, isn't it? 3 or something? Alright, we're going to focus strength. We're going to max strength. I'm really considering starting with 20 as well. Fighter should be +3 int. Oh, 3 plus int. Yeah, okay. I don't think I'm building a +3 int fighter. Alright, I do care about my save throws. What do we care about for dex on a reach fighter? Is there anything? There's some bonuses we could pull out of our armors, I guess. We're probably wearing medium armor. AC, right? 13 int if I wish to do combat maneuvers. Do I wish to do combat maneuvers rather on this? I don't know. What do I care about? Or I don't know what the 13 int combat feat does. I don't know what it does. Like, what does it unlock? I assume it's a prerequisite for something else I care about, but attacks of opportunity. I believe that. We would want multiple attacks of opportunity. I don't think we're taking dodge. We want 13 dex. Okay, so we'll get that up to 13. Care about anything else here? A little bit of con would be nice. Care about some wisdom? Yeah. Care about int? The weapon gives trip. I'm not planning on tripping with this character. Alright, we have 7 minutes. Alright, how does this look for fighter stats? We're paying a lot of extra points in strength here. Dumping int is okay, but we get more feats from this, right? This would be 3 every level. If we dump int, we get 3-2 if we go down. Like, that's a 3-2 build. No, that's just a 2 build. What do we do with these 4 points if we did that? On. A little bit fucking tempting, actually. Question is, what skills do we need? We absolutely want athletics. No one else in our party does athletics. Some question about knowledge is coming in out of Baracus only. A little bit annoying. Lore nature. So arcane comes in off Baracus and Diablos. World comes in off Baracus. Lore comes, nature comes in off of Chat's Cleric only. And Chat's Cleric only. So we're pretty light coverage of the lore stuff. What's up with the random 12 wisdom? We are happy with some fucking will saves. Bad fighter, low AC. Okay, bro. Imagine that there were other roles besides being the first person to take all the hits. Would you build all of your characters with some like medium amount of AC? It doesn't fucking matter. Alright. What else are we doing at this? What does this end up going? We pump the shit out of strength. I mean, we can get +1 at 8, which seems reasonable. The accuracy is super important to me. Do we care about... I mean, like, we'd love to run some of these, too. We can double up on world here. Chat, is Knowledge World ever going to roll for creatures? Or is it just the lore nature, lore religion, knowledge arcana that rolls creatures? What am I rolling on with lore here? So if we brought this int back up, for example, we could take lore nature and lore world, which would kind of be nice. Get backup rolls on these. Nature's creature, sure, but what's world? World is social stuff and only social stuff? Because I could get away with 2 running this. At the moment, we get 2 every level. Worried about perception on the team. Let's take a look what we have for perception. So we ended up placing... Cat's Cleric has perception. Yeah, it is a little low. Miklas has some. Baracus has some. Tragic Booty has some. We're going to have 4 people perception rolling with progression. That's okay. I could run this. I could be talked out of like that 1 point strength for like raising fucking int like 3 times. I hate the floating point here. Gives us 1 more skill. Did it give us 2 more skills? No, it's half. So it's 1 more skill every level. Could be lore. I don't know if that's worth it for lore. Fucking knowledge world doesn't seem worth. I mean, this is streamlined, ideally, melee fucking reach DPS, right? So we want having early strength to be great. Where did this point come from? Did we have 1 ability point floating before? We had this down at 12. I don't know why we'd have that down at 12. Maybe bring that to 10. Gives us alternate skill gain there, but still floating point. Still bad. Fuck, I hate that floating point. Dex for better accuracy. Dex doesn't affect accuracy. It's a strength-based reach weapon. It's strength to hit roll, strength to do damage. 14 con, kind of whatever. Could bring it to 12. We're getting a little squishy at 12. I think we get fighter hit point dice though, which I assume are fairly decent. What can we do with this if we did this? Dex for 1 AC, kind of whatever. And then we could either go down 1 there. Can we double this? Yeah, we still have the floating. If we go up 1 there, we could bring into 8 and get alternate skill rolls like this. So we get half progression in Knowledge World. That seems okay. So it's either 14 con floating point, can't go into strength, so it's a useless floating point, or we can fill this out. This seems okay to me. 14 dex, 8 int. Problem is progression. What do we do with the 12th point? I guess it goes strength, so we go 4 strength, 12, 4 point strength, 8 strength, 12 strength, 16 strength, and get +2 hit at +2 hit, +2 damage at 16. Swap dex con. Possible. If we swap dex con, little bit of squishiness, not much though. And we have to put a point in dex later for the combat maneuver. That means we don't get strength till 20. We don't have an off point, we'd rather put it in. I think this is better. 19th will maximize progression. Yeah, we could bring that down there and double pump con. Still 1 floating point. It's pretty fucking ugly. I don't think so. I'd rather that. I think this is fine. You like 19, 13? Where do these points go? 6 points there. You want con and what? Int? This seems so much worse. Fine to me. All right. I like this because we get we get alternate level progression in world as well. Fine to me. All right, it's close. All right. All right, chat. I mean, that's level 1. We got 5 to go. I think you guys are failing your bet. My apologies for those of you who thought we could do it under 2. 13 con gives me 1 point buffer for things like poison. I have AoE poison suppression, right? So I don't care about 1 point buffers. I mean, but you can literally say that for anything, right? I can go like, ready? We should put a point in. We should put 2 points in charisma because then we have a 1 point buffer for charisma. What? Like, I mean, you're just arguing that I should have odd points. You should have 15 in dex because really what you want is you want the bonus off 14 dex, which means you need a 1 point buffer. It just doesn't really make sense. The opportunity cost, right? Like I give, you're right, when you have an off point like that, you do have a buffer, but I value that buffer at approximately 0 for value. So you're not wrong, but I don't know that it changes any of my decisions. Okay, are there differences? So the alternate level feats are, get a combat feat to start with, and we get combat feats alternate levels, and we get a regular feat to start with, and we get a bonus feat to start with as human. Are we really starting with 3 feats at 1? Yes. Yes, we are. All right, boys. Fighter build. Feels good. Okay. All right, do we want to choose a combat feat first, since the combat list is a restricted list? These other 2 are not restricted. All right. What do we need here? Does weapon spec require prereq? Weapon focus require prereq? Can't remember how it works. So exotic weapon proficiency. If I want a weapon focus, do I have to have that done already? I think I might. Where is it? I'm looking for F. Or is it Falchion? Is this the fucking thing we need? No, it's faux card, right? So that's why it's not on the list yet. Okay. So what we're doing then is we could exotic weapon proficiency right now for that, like this, as our combat feat, right? Yeah. And it's a restricted subset, so. All right, I think that's okay. All right. Moving forward, I don't think we can weapon focus a little. I think we have to do it later is what I think I'm getting from that. No, it is actually allowing me to do that, so we could do that now. Okay. And then what else do we need? Power attack. Yeah, we're gonna need all of these things. We just keep taking them, I guess. There's no reason not to do it in that order. The only thing we need to decide if we're doing first is if we are cleaving or critting first. And I think I would rather flesh out the cleave build before we build the rest of it. Oh shit, chat. There was a question about this. And the question is this. Do we wish to have a 1-point dip in Vivisectionist? And if we do, why? Why or why not? So you get a mutagen. Mutagen's 4 strength, stacking, which is 2 accuracy for our every single hit roll we make, and 2 damage on every single hit roll. So that's why. We also get 1-point sneak attack, which is 1d6 damage dice on a lot of our attacks, but not all of our attacks. And we get level 1 spells, which are, for example, shield if we wanted it, enlarge for free. There's some pretty nice pickups out of Viva, right? One per day for 10 minutes loses 1 bab. Isn't it 3 per day? Oh, is it? Are the numbers based on int? No int, so no spells. I guess I need to see that. I can pick. There's no difference between taking that at 1 or 2 for Pathfinder where we are, right? I mean, the big seller for me is 2 accuracies. Right? That's just a lot of accuracy. There's a difference? What's the difference? Difference is like skill monkey stuff. But I think that the skill monkeying is based on the level that when you pick it. I don't think it matters. Running HP is a max roll. Ah, nice. So we should actually, I'm pretty sure fighter has more HP than probably everything else. We should probably move forward here. Off this. These are fine starting ones. We picked up weapon focus, power attack, and weapon proficiency with our fancy weapon. Barb. Okay. So, this is Thaddeus.
Forwards! No.
I need
This
None!
time's not waiting.
The path is clear.
Adventures await.
Thaddeus is kind of an asshole. We want him to be a brave asshole.
Their life ends here.
I think that's perfect. Okay. That's his name. You would expect that to be a title. I'd love to have a title line, but here we go. Okay. A single 10-minute buff once a day. 10 minutes is essentially between 2/3 and 3/4 of our fights daily. Because most of my buffs are either single or double cast for under 10 minutes. Yeah, there's quite a few multipliers I think that are going to be hitting in there. We should definitely take a look at this. We're gonna mock out a level in that, right? Is there any reason to? I fucking hate that I don't know the special weapons that are going to be relevant to this. Does it matter what my alignment is for damage off this? No, 10 minutes is it's six. There's 6-second rounds. No, you're right. It is 10. I was thinking the other way around. Yep. No, you're right. You doing tripping? No. You could be though. I mean, but I wasn't planning on it. Yeah. All right. Doesn't matter. All right. I mean, it's Thaddeus. He is he's chaotic neutral. He likes killing things a lot.
This will hurt.
All right. So if we look at that, which is pretty nice. I don't mind this as number 1, like first level. Human is interesting, so we get to fuck down. 12 HP is not terribly exciting, but level 1. All right, second level. If we were to take Alchemist Vivisectionist Dip, chat, here's what we give up and here's what we get. We get some sweet shit. Number 1, we get Throw Anything. Amazing. Bonus on splash thrown weapons that we will never use again. But if we were to fight swarms at level 1, +1 bonus accuracy. All right. We get proficiency in things we don't care about because we already have it as a fighter. We get a mutagen, which will be strength, which gives us not just strength, it's AC as well, right? So it's 2 natural AC, which stacks with everything. And 4 alchemical bonus to strength, and then we get -1. I believe it's -1 wisdom for strength. No, it's int. It's strength int.
Expands. Praise the sub.
You Ballista do for the sub, Rashida? So, we would, I mean, this is just nice, right? This is +2 damage. Might be more even with the multipliers. I guess we could look at that too. So what fighter multipliers do we get? Blood King with the sub as well. Cheers, guys. So the nice part about why we take the 2-handed fighter is we're picking up this shit. At 3rd level with the 2-handed fighter makes a single attack. With the attack weapon of 2-handed weapon, he rolls double his strength bonus on damage rolls. And then here we get that on multi-attacks, I believe. So in other words, we are getting 4 damage out of that. So it's 2 accuracy, 4 damage off of that buff. And that's a buff that is stacking with all other buffs in the game. And will be there forever. Now, I guess we need to look at, like, I don't know how many spells we get here. Do we get 0 spells? You like this if you go for 19 strength and just invest those points in int. Get 0 spells. No int, 0 spells. We have 7 int. What would So the thing is, okay, the spells we care about. Right, I think here's how we do this, right? Do we have the Alchemist? So we probably respec the Alchemist. So what do I need to look at? Alchemist spells somewhere? There's a list of those online. I mean, I know what we're getting. The level 1 spells are would be enlarged. That's the one we care about. So you get a +4 int item. So the issue is the int modifier. What int modifier do we need for 2 spells? +2? Or do we just need, is it the number of spells we're generating with int, or is it the spells that we're able to use at level? So is it 0 for level 1s, or is it 1 for level 1s? So do I need a +1 int? In other words, from going from 7 to 12 to get +1? And what happens when I get the -1 from the mutagen? Am I back to not being able to have any, or does it not apply to my ability to cast the spell at that level? 10 plus spell level is the required stat. Do we need 11 int prior to the mutagen? Do we need 13 int? Which, if we wanted combat expertise, is 13 int, right? So it's 13 buffed. We just need 11 buffed int after all the buffs resolve. Thank you, Care Bear, for your alt sub.
Whoops,
appreciate it.
Missed a month with my alt. Forgive me, Sir Filthy.
Can't memorize spells with mutagen int. Sure you can. Because the mutagen applies after. Your mutagen's not up permanently. It's up for all your fights, but it's not up for your rests. So the question is, how valuable is 4 stats? 4 primary stat, how valuable is that? Seems very valuable. But is it worth fucking all of our progression? I mean, it's not just that. I guess it's also 1d6 dice. I mean, this is half of an enlarge right there. More than that, because we go from 1d8. This actually might be equivalent to enlarge for damage, right? Which is we go from 1d8 to 2d6 when we enlarge. Might be 1d10. Actually, what's the... I don't know the enlarge tree. There's a tree that shows me this, and for some reason the dice progression is really fucking weird off this. Anyone know what the d10 goes to when you are working with enlarge? Yeah, I know the d8 goes to 2d6, but we're actually using a d10, so it's one past that. I don't know what considered. 1d10 goes to 2d8. Okay. So our damage roll goes... So when we're... Okay. So I was just kind of curious what this gives us. So... Yeah, you can't say... Joas, you can't say 2d6 and chat raises you to 2d8 and you're like 2d10. We're not bidding here, chat. We're just trying to get a readout of how the skill works. Or how the scaling of size works here. I double down, 4d6. Double down again. No, it's okay, sure. I guess. Yep. Gentleman in red gets it. Agreed. Yeah. Anyone have any strong... Okay, anyway, so I was trying to get a sense of how much 1d6 is for us. I mean, it's a so if we're doing 1d10 and we go to 2 something, possibly 2d8. We go from 1d10. We compare this to that, which is what, average 5.5, and then it adds average... I mean, that's a fair... I mean, 1d6 is a fair amount of damage, man. It's so hard not to want this splash because it's so powerful.
Quitters never win.
Howdy bun. What's up? Hitting the scam trains this morning. It's nice. Yep, extra damage and 2 hit from the strength improvement's pretty big. Yeah, it would make a lot of sense as a dip. Now, unfortunately, we have to redo our fucking stats if we do this. Gives us more skill monkey potential, which is okay. I feel like this is probably how many spells am I gonna get? I get 3 starting level 1s, right? And that's independent of my int. It's just what I get for progression of the class. Is that correct? So if I can cast my spells, I would get 3 of them. I think we're building this. If we build this, I think we build it care about getting the level 1 spells. Casting them requires we be at 11. We want that fairly early. I think we can run it with a 2-int item. I think we're looking to have 13 int if we take this build. So we'll have 11 int rather. We'll have 11 int base build. We'll get 2 from an item and we'll lose 2 from the mutagen. So the downside is feat progression. The upside is fancy shit. All right, if it's been a couple hours, we can pay out. We're past the mark, so I will close the prediction. Looks like the no's get it. Congratulations. Yep, feat progression is excellent as a fighter, although it is 1 level of feat progression we're losing. With 11 int, you get 1 extract. With 12 or more, you get 2. Yeah, I could mutagen after. That's fair. Get a meta. What are any of the discoveries super relevant? I did look at the discoveries. I think there's a combat discovery in there. Like a. No, I'm thinking Barb right now. Hold on. I guess I could look at those. Is there ever a reason we'd want to go 2? 2 starts to be a really significant reduction in timings on everything else, which is pretty fucking not great. Yeah, I don't know what the. I mean, we could just. Hold on, let's do this. We're gonna end up if we take the other way, we're gonna end up respecting this guy again anyway. So what was this guy running? He was lower athletics, more off this level. It was knowledge world. You can put 2 in there, that's fine. I want rage. I mean, maybe. I mean, the problem is rage scales off like con, which we're not taking particularly high on this character, and also barb levels or something, right? So I don't think we want rage. Like, it's just not going to give us enough attacks per time period. What else do we get off barb that we care about? What do we get? Where does this 2 strength coming off barb? I hadn't even thought about multi-specking it. That's interesting. Fast movement is nice. I guess we need to read that then. That was not in my even thought, not even in my consideration of things that we were looking about. Right, we don't want per level. These are short duration enlarges. That's actually kind of prohibitively short. So enlarge might not actually give us massive value here because we're probably going to have to be hitting him with enlarges from somebody else. We can take shield, which is a bit more valuable if we're going to get the enlarge somewhere else. I don't really want true strike. Let's say we took shield and retreat or something. We're going to end up respecking this again in a second. So let's just take another look here. So what would this be? That would be nice counterwork. All right. Pick these up, which are sweet. And then if we went barb, what does barb give us? What is this 1-point barb that chat is talking about like they care? Hold on, what would we take? Can we make it ridiculous? We could mad dog it and get our animal companion that levels up off of, I don't know, what does your animal companion level off of? Unlike normal animals, animal companions hit dice, abilities, feats, and advances druid level advances. Does it count as a druid level for these? Does it level off of off barb level? Okay. That would be useless. Invuln Rager at level 1 gives us rage. Let's look at rage real quick. Gain rage. Number of rounds per day equal to 4 plus our con mod. So it's a pretty fucking minimal number. Looking at 5 for us. This is levels in Barbarian, I believe. So that doesn't help us at all, right? Two to hit rolls is nice. 2 to damage rolls is nice. 2 to AC loss is whatever. HP at this level is not going to matter. So it's 5 rolls of extra accuracy and fast movement. Limited to medium armor, but we're already limited to medium armor as the fighter variant we've taken. So it would be 10 extra 10 movement, which is nice. No feats here, but that might be locked behind Invulnerable Rager. All the invulnerable raging shit happens later. I think it's 2 points for any of the rage powers, but maybe regular barb gets rage power at 1. Look like it. Yeah, 2 hit 2 strength is 4 strength, but 4 strength for 5 rounds is shit. It's not enough of a bonus. So what does Armored Hulk give us? At 1. Bonus of combat maneuver and EMD and reflex saves against trample, +1 to AC against charge attacks. Not all exciting. Rage again, heavy armor. I don't think we want a 1-point barb splash unless you guys are seeing something that I'm not. Because this looks like I think I just get the movement bonus. Really what we're getting here. And like 5 rounds of +2 accuracy. So that's a no for me. So it comes down to the same question then. So what are the penalties of taking Alchemist? I think we delay our multi-attack off of Bab, which is not just multi-attack, it's also accuracy. I think we delay our accuracy and multi-attack gain off of by 1 level, right? So it's 1. So in addition to being 1 level late on fighter stuff, we're also 1 level late on accuracy and attack progression. Realistically, I'm not expecting to get past 16. I think people have been telling me the game ends around there. So by going here, we get 15 instead of 16, maybe, or it's some variation of there. It's not particularly relevant here. So it's somewhere in here that we're cutting off. So we postpone Strong Grip. I don't think we care about this. It's Disarm and Sunder. I don't really know what either of those abilities do. I don't know. We're going to be disarming and sundering all the time. Is this something we care about? We care about two-handed weapon training. This is progression with damage. We care about these things. We don't care about Pile Driver, I don't think. The attack hits you and make a bull rush or trip attack maneuver against the target. This free action does not provoke an attack for opportunity. I don't know if we want that or not. I think it's not. So the things we care about are this. We care about backswing. We care about two-handed weapon training a little bit. But it's mostly backswing we care about, right? And then the fighter, just Feats on fighters. Regular fighter do, comparatively. We get some other heavy armor shit that we're not using, right? I mean, we're not building... Is there any way we build this trip as well? We don't, right? I mean, we have so many ways to make people fall over at this point. At this point, we're no longer attempting to kill the opponents. We're just trying to see who can get everyone else on the ground first, and presumably they just win when that happens. This guy is supposed to obliterate things. So I don't think we care, but I think that's an argument for the Vivisectionist. There's more pure damage on the Vivisectionist than there is in one fight level of fighter, right? If that's our comparison, is how much damage do we get off those? Pretty certain that means we get the damage better off Vivisectionist. The accuracy boost. Okay. Downside of that, we have to respec that guy. Oh, I don't have 50k gold right now. How close are we? No, chat. Did we save after the other ones, chat, or did we not do that? Were we clever enough to save after the other ones? I don't think we were. Okay, we're gonna have to edit our gold again. Awkward. Did we save? No. We saved after the first one, but we forgot to save after the second one. Go rogue as well. Possibly. We don't get the whatever for that though, right? Alright, it's fine. It's fine. I put these in there? Yeah. Alright. Fine, chat. Alright, I'm gonna give us like 1,000,000 gold because we're gonna respec it anyways after, right? So we're just giving ourselves respec money for the entire game. It seems fine to me. 2 more hours? I think we probably get this knocked out in the next 20 minutes. You guys want to bet? Think we can do it in 20 minutes? All right, I'll make it sweeter. I'll say 25 minutes. All right. You got 1 minute to make the bet. There you go. Show your gambling. It's just Thaddeus. We're just deciding right now between any splashes we might do and whether or not what our stat builds are for this. And then we have to modify the save file afterwards. The save file is going to be a lot quicker though, now that I know how to fucking do that. So yeah. This is called fine. No cancel. Open with 7-zip. Then modify player. Open player. Yeah, okay. Edit player. Okay. Maximize. Find. Money. Modify. 1 million. Good. Save. Start game. Okay, we have to do that once when we've done with Thaddeus. That's it. That's pretty easy, by the way, chat. That's really easy to do. We should be fine for respecs for the rest of the game without having to deal with shit, though. Yeah, also, chat, all of your PCs have now failed. Sorry. All right. We got 25 minutes to knock this out. Now, Joas seems to be part of the no crowd because he's just thrown out another variant that we're going to take a quick look at, which is what happens if we throw in Rogue One as a variant. Will you let me click on this thing? Uh-oh. Sharing violation. Hold on. Might have something open that has to be closed. Did fucking close that right now. What if we broke the game, chat? What if we can't do it? I did close the file. The file was closed. That's just the 7-zip opening. It's not even the 7-zip. It's the actual fucking unopened save file. All right. Easy million. Need loyal and experienced fighters. No. Let me think about it. I need to use your tutoring services. 50K. Agreed. All right. We're fucking with this guy still. Two-handed fighter with rogue would be second fighter. Yeah, that's interesting. I like this idea, Joas. Because looking at the fighter tree, the progression we care about ends at double fighter progression, right? I don't know what second fighter 5 rogue 12 VV1 means. Let's talk more choosy. Yeah. That's where we're at. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Is this guy? No, it's the other guy. Is he? Yeah, there he is. Losing the feats is a bit brutal. That's true. But I think rogues. I mean, we gotta look. So we know we're gonna go strength. We're gonna go this. So we have to figure these stats out in a second. So what? Okay. Let's take just a quick look at the rogue stuff here. So if we look at these, what would we want? We're looking for two-handed reach weapons. Is it basic rogue? I don't think the other ones help us at all. Elder Scoundrel is a shitty caster. Knife Master is Spec, or is extra damage dice with like shit we're not going to be using, I'm pretty certain. And Thug is Intimidate, which we aren't doing anymore. It's probably just base rogue. What do we get out of base rogue? We get a little bit more sneak attack. We get sneak attack progression, although that will be our third character linked to sneak attack, which seems to be a pretty and our last damage dealer. So part of me doesn't really want that. Evasion's nice. Rogue talent progression here. I don't know the rogue talent ones. Are they combat talents? Probably not. They are combat feats? Okay. But they're not fighter combat feats. And there are prerequisites for some of the feats that are based on your fighter level. I think this might be start off. I mean, the thing we were building towards, the thing we really care about is the fighter bonuses, right? Which are coming out of this. So these are the ones we'd give up buff two-handed, but what we're caring about is this. We care about backswing, which is fighter 7. How could you, Joas, where was your idea behind fighter? Didn't you say fighter 5 or did you say fighter 7? Did fighter 5? I think fighter 5 is not enough. We're only getting two-handed weapons spec 1. And I think this is the one we really care about. Because this gives us This is giving us double damage on, or double strength gain damage on single attack. This gives us double strength gain damage on a full attack for after the first swing. I don't know what that leaves. Does that mean the first swing when we full attack doesn't do additional damage? Kind of fucking irritating. Is this spec, by the way, chat? Is this specs in 2 different weapons, by the way? But not stacking, like 2 separate weapons? All right, I'm not sold on the rogue right now. I'm probably missing lots of things, but I'm not sold on the rogue at all. I am a little sold on the Alchemist Vivisectionist dip. It is a little bit of sneak attack damage, but so what? Like, it's just rider damage for now. If we fight another opponent, most of our damage isn't there. I really care about the 2 accuracy, 2 damage off of the strength, which seems pretty big. It's actually 4 damage, 2 accuracy, right? Okay. So if we're doing that, we're still not starting Alchemist. Alchemist just comes in at 2, but we have to do this stats different, right? Yeah, I don't care about weapon finesse either. Rogue 10 gives you Opportunist and Rogue debuff. Huh. That's what we'd be going for. Sure. What does the extra Vivisectionist do for us later, though? We get... Shit, I gotta look at the Alchemist feats real quick. I could just respec this again, but I think I can find those online. Let's take a quick look at that. Alchemist feats. Pathfinder Alchemist feats done. The Alchemist... No, I wanted King... Yeah. Oh. Alright, the feats we pick up from these, are there any of these that are super combat relevant? Acid Bomb, Blinding Bomb, Breath Weapon, Choking Bomb, Cognigens, Burst Bombs, Dispelling Bombs, Explosive Bombs, Fast Bombs, Feral Mutagen. Isn't there a Bite Attack in there as well? Force Bomb, Grand Mutagen, Holy Bombs, Infusion, Mummification, that requires 10, Precise Bombs, Preserve Organs. So there's a little bit of healing there. I don't think... No. Okay, all of those things suck. We don't even get bombs in this character. I don't see shit in there that's Vivisectionist interesting, though. Okay. So my read on that is we don't care about discoveries as what we're trying to do with this. This might still be pure fighter with the 1 point dip in Vivisectionist slowing us down to begin with. Yeah, at the very least, we're gonna hit level 8 with this. Because what we care about is 1 point Vivisectionist, 7 point fighter. We can make decisions about if we want to add rogue to that later, but I think that means for now, we don't care. Okay, so the only issue then is I have to understand the spell interaction for the lowest number of int I can get. So looking at that, we're gonna go 2-handed fighter here, like this. We're human, that's fine. All right, so we need to just quickly match these up. Right there. And our fucking... He could die. I don't give a shit about the hair color. We're never going to care about that again. I care that the portrait looks roughly like that. And I don't even care that much about that. Okay, so stats are where we're at. This is the part that's gonna... This is the sticking point. What do we need? We need 11 int final? Or is it 13 int final? So we can... To cast level 1s, we have to be at 11. But it's 11 post-mutagen, which is 13 pre-mutagen, which is 11 plus 2 off of our thing we pick up. I don't know that we need 13 int. I think we might be able to get away with 11. And we would like to max strength as much as possible, although my suspicion is we end up losing down to 18 strength, but we're going to see. We'll see. We needed this 13. We don't give a shit about charisma. We care a little bit about this. The mutagen buff won't stack with boar strength and belt either. Yeah, it does. Stacks with boar strength. Boar strength is like enhancement or something. Mutagen is muted. Anything else from here? So what was our previous block? Anyone remember? I don't fucking remember. I think we had probably a little bit more wisdom for saves. Probably had a bit more con too. What was our previous build? This? Like 14. 12. We're respecting the same guy. Why do we have like more fucking ability points suddenly? 18, 14, 12. There's definitely 19. Jesus, we respect the right guy, right? I wish I was paying attention fully to the stat stuff because it doesn't really feel like I have that answer. We hit 20 strength last time. Fuck, that's what it was. Thanks. That makes more sense. Just want to give an extra FU to those who think I can't do character creation all day. You know? Alright. Two-handed fighter. We were at 20, so this was the build we were at. Then it was like some variation of 13 decks. And I think we dumped int fully and raised this to 12, probably. It wasn't 14. It was that. That's what we did, right? Okay. You missed the archery spec? Yeah, bro. Unfortunately, we could have used your talk in there. We dropped deliverer again. Looking at this is 20, 12, 8. Okay, that was our build. All right, so we are looking at what does this look like if we go into the trying to get int, and we need int 11, right? We decided. We just assume we need int 11. That looks pretty fucking close. We got what, one stupid floater point? We can go int 12. We ever need 14 decks? It was just 1 AC. No way I can get that off int 11 though, right? No. That some weird ass color shit up there? Yeah, I'm not. It goes like blue. I don't mind this. Anyone hate this? Is there anything about what was the level I got a second mutagen at? I don't remember there being a second mutagen ever. I think it's just spellcasting, right? The thing that was pissing me off about Deliverer, One Heart, One Mind, was the delay on picking up the first Slayer feat. We can't ever get improved mutagen, Daft Mule. Alright. So what's our progression here at +1? Actually really nice. It was only half that. So we hit 4 then 5 for progression. Kind of crazy. Alright. So we're running athletics, knowledge world, lore nature, perception. We run perception here? Probably. We don't need more int. Yeah, but 10 minutes is 10 minutes is a long time on this. Yeah, the thing, what I was trying to do, One Heart, was I wanted to make sure we had our stupid intimidate stuff on. I was worried about the number of skills, and because I don't fully understand the Slayer skip, it would have been really nice if you were there to help me explain with that. I understand you're busy and you can't. I'm not trying to hold that against you. I'm just saying that that was the sticking point when we were deciding between Deliverer and Slayer, and we actually looked at another variant too, the monster fighter Slayer, whatever the fuck it was because the holding point for me was I was worried we were not going to get our intimidate stuff on until too late or too much later. All right, chat, where else do we want these? Do we need anything? Like, we're not in melee. We don't really care about mobility, I don't think. I don't think anyone in our team runs. That's not true, apparently. Baracus is our stealther now. I want more lore checks if we can. We don't care about persuasion here. We always care about perception, but it's less important here. Yeah. I want combat experience. I don't know what combat experience does. My thought is no, but I don't know that. All right. So from these, it's either, do we need mobility for anything, chat? Chat, are there any other mobility restrictions, any other reason to have mobility? I'm never going to be sneaking around. I'm never going to be using that stupid blue thing that lets me get hit repeatedly but pretends to roll against attacks of opportunity. Power attack, but plus AC. What is? What? Why do we want? What are you referencing? Are you talking about something else? Or is this combat expertise? I have to read combat expertise. It unlocks Trip and Bull Rush. Okay, I don't care that much about Bull Rush, I don't think. I guess there, I mean, the question, okay, where would this int point come from? If we really wanted this int point, where would it come from? Wisdom, probably. And then we have the floating point again, and everyone's salty about it, myself included. Alternatively, we dump, like, I don't even know. Maybe we get, can we get 1 dex from that? I mean, we can do that. No, we can't. Yes, we can. Still floating point. But we do hit 14 dex, 13 int. I don't like having wisdom when we're fucking up front. And I don't mind skill progression if we have a reason. We're never touching strength. I'm not touching strength. Like, this strength is so important on this character. No, we're not touching strength. Yeah. Okay. All right, good. Then, I mean, the int point is just for skill progression here. Rolling these to help with this seems fine. I kind of wouldn't mind rolling this. So Arcana comes out of Baracus and Niablis. Niablis is probably not going to see raises on that ever again. What is it based off of too? It's int. This is probably our second highest int character. Is this a knowledge Arcana roll? We don't get points on into it, so it's just going to be based off progression. This is 4 and 5, right? We're at +1, so it's half. We get max this level, and then you always get full on the first level. No, you don't. How many am I going to have each round, chat? That's right. The 5-point knowledge was for the Dragon Disciple buff. That's what I'm saying. Like, we probably don't end up raising it. So I'm trying to see if we can get a second person to roll on this. This isn't a persuasion build at all with 7 charisma. I mean, maybe it could be. But I'm planning on going crit. Do any of the, chat, I guess that's a good question. Do any of the crit confirmation skills require int? Because the plan on this one is to go crit plus cleave. Then we don't give a fuck about that. We don't care about int past 12. Even int 12 is just a little gratuitous. The reason to go charisma. No. So it's this. I mean, we can roll perception. Fine too, I guess. We're gonna get additional skill points as the other one. All right. So we roll this. That's our starting one. 3 feats were the same ones. We need exotic weapon proficiency with guard, foul cards. I don't know how to fuck the word. Okay. And we're gonna take weapon focus with the same thing. And then we're gonna take, make sure I got that right. Yes. Ever check out the Alchemist? I did, yep. We just respect out of it. It was okay. And then the last one of these we were taking was probably power attack. I think that was fine. We want to grab cleave. What's cleave sitting behind right now? Cleave is locked behind. Power attack anyways. Alright, we want our accuracy. Seems great. Alright.
Their life ends here.
Perfect. It's Thaddeus. Can't be in the chat. Okay. And he was chaotic neutral.
A mere flesh wound.
Alright. Good? Good. Alright. Second point is Vivisectionist, Alchemist, Vivisectionist, go. We want mutagens. This is what the respec was for. Okay, I don't think I need to select anything else here. Alright, we're not getting stats there. We get 4 here. We add a bunch of new skill points, and this actually retroactively adds it to nature. Nice. We have a shit ton more. Still rolling athletics. And then it's knowledge world, knowledge lore, perception, I think is what we decided on. Great. Yeah, Nick, I'm sure we'll get there. Okay, we have 4 spells, supposedly. We care about Enlarge Person, possibly Expeditious Retreat, Shield for sure. The rest of the, I mean, we could run True Strike. There's a world in which that's occasionally very slightly useful. The other one is Reduce Person, but we're never going to be casting that here, so that's fine. We might never be casting Enlarge Person. I don't think it matters. The rest of them don't matter. All right. The complete. And then the rest of them are fighter levels. How are we on timing, chat? Okay. Yep, we have lube. All right, so fighter second level. We need cleave. What is this one? Bonus combat feat is level 2 fighter. Why do I have a regular feat? Where is that even coming from? We're here, right? Yeah, why am I getting 2 here? Level 3? Oh, okay. Shouldn't we still only be getting 1? We're getting level 3, it's just fighter. Why am I getting fucking 2? What? Level 3 just gets a feat, sure, but I'm getting 2 feats. Level 3 character, second level fighter, so I'm on this roll. Okay, but we can't have it. Oh, I see, because this is levels, this is fighters. Gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense. Thanks. We got there, chat. It just took a second. Okay. Now, what is the leaving finish is what we're working towards, right? It is a fine interface. It really is. Once you and that's fine here. That's me getting fucked on it, honestly. I think this interface is, we talked about this before, right? There's a crazy amount of information. By the way, I can get bull rush without that other thing you guys were telling me about. But anyways. It's a fine interface. There are some problems with it. One of them is not this. That's my understanding. After this, I probably won't ever play 5e again, quite honestly. Because it's much more complicated. Okay, any reason not to take cleaving finish now? I don't think so, right? Seems to be the payoff. Alright, next up. Great. More fighter. Did I take Great Cleave? Because I fucking hate Great Cleave. Well, I prefer cleaving finish to Great Cleave right now anyways. Alright, next up. Rolling racial bonus. We could bring Dex to 14, but I think that's probably something we're going to do at 12. But I think we're rolling strength. We want to go level 8 second strength thing. The whole point. We only get 3 here, which is okay. We're running athletics. Do we slack off on perception or slack off on one of the natures? Brackus has got a lot, but it's our only one. Everybody else is super low on this. 0, -2, -2, -2 is pretty broken. This one is cleric. I think we might slack off perception, honestly. We have 4 perception rolls. Yep. All right. +6 isn't gonna spot anything. All right, I'll teach you dice rolling later. If you have a lot of rolls on something, having some lower rolls is okay. We might spot things just fine, and this will level up past this. This is our level 4 promotion. It will level up across the course of the game. Perception's also one of those ones that seems to get modified by a couple other things that you pick up, like your buffs, for example. Like you're running around with dex buffs on and dex items, which is also going to boost that up. I think it's dex. Maybe check that, make sure. Wisdom. So maybe a little bit less likely to get buffed then, but still, you're going to have people with that. Anyways, next up. Picked up overhand chop, which we were looking forward to. All right, more fighter levels. Let's go. Athletics. And this is our 4 level. All right, next up. All right, 2 more here, because we are now level 5. We get a feat, and we're level 4 fighter, so we get a fighter feat. Let's choose the restricted domain first. All right, what is weapon spec? It's damage, right? I mean, that sounds fucking incredible. 25 minutes are up. Rip for you guys then. Okay. All right, so we would weapon spec this. Is there any, I mean, I just want that. That just seems amazing to me. All right, what else can we take in here? There's another one. What else can we take? Allied reflexes, bull rush. I think there's like greater spec is around here somewhere too, right? Maneuvers, dodge. Dodge okay. Endurance, great cleave. Great cleave, a standard action, make a single attack at a base action. Oh, within reach, you hit another one. I mean, that's probably something we pick up. Improved initiative. Definitely want that eventually. Outflank is a maybe. Under armor. Not yes. The rest are not available right now as combat feats. There's not greater weapon focus. What does that require? Want it later. Greater weapon focus comes in at fighter 8. No way we're not. There's no way we're not going to go full fighter then. The fucking fighter perks are just stupid good. All right, so this is weapon spec, whatever we have. Okay, the unrestricted domain ones here. We can run accomplished sneak attacker. It just gives us extra sneak attack dice. Some issues with that. And I'm considering that later if we have enough. We should probably be building out the crit portion at some point too. Alertness is not the one I was thinking. In the initiative one. That reflexes. Opportunity attacks your dex bonus. Wait. Yeah, you kind of scammed me on this. Because what is our current dex bonus? 1. I mean, we can bring that at 8, I guess. It's extra though, so it does double. I mean, it's okay. I guess it's not as good as 3, but it's still 2 is, I guess, still something. Is that something we're gonna want? Good dex items too. Oh, good point. Good point. Yeah, yeah. I just made that argument about perception. I should be applying that here too. All right. I think it's too early for that though. It's something we do want. Great cleave is what we want. Where does the crit shit happening? Improved initiatives, incredible. Improved unarmed strike, improved intimidating prowess, iron will, lightning reflexes, meta magics, outflank, persuasive, precise. No, we have power strike. We don't need precise strike. Shake it off. Skill focus, skill pen, sunder armor. This feat gives the character an ability to perform the sunder armor combat maneuver. It grants +2. When doing so, you can attempt to dislodge an armor worn by your opponent. If your combat maneuver is successful, the target loses its bonuses from armor for 1 round. That seems powerful. I don't think we're doing that though. Improved cleaving finish prereqs. Good call. Didn't know there was an improved cleaving finish. That sounds like something we want though. Greater cleave is kind of a scam, right? Where's great cleave? I see. So we might great cleave anyways. Alright. Improved critical requires BAB 8. I don't know if there's other critical things, what they're called. So we probably end up wanting to run great cleave then. Which is... it saddens me. Okay. Anything else we want now? Vital strike. Is that the one that stacks up your damages so you can get through pen or something? I mean, I could say we'd always respect this later, but I'd really prefer not to. Critical focus. Critical focus. I don't know the skill line for the crits. So is that literally like focus critical? Is it like focusing another fucking weapon? Can't be, right? Goal of the rebuild? I'll summarize it in a minute. We're basically done here. I don't think I'm going to take Outflank because I don't think anyone else has it yet. So I don't think taking it now helps us, and I'm not sure we're ever going to get it. The person giving us all the Outflank bonuses previously was the Inquisitor, who had it both on the dogs and had it personally. But now that we do not have Outflank, we may not actually be able to run it. We'll see. Called Critical Focus, you need it +9 and +10. Okay. All right, good. The monk may have the feats. Okay, well, maybe we'll do it with the monk. That's fine. Okay. All right, we're done respecking, chat. I don't think we hit the 25-minute mark. I think it was fairly close. And we haven't actually done the last portion either, which is we need to now remove the gold. That needs to happen now. Yeah, I'm sure it is one of the better things. I mean, like, it's the argument that it's a good feat doesn't really mean anything, right? Because you every time someone makes one of these arguments that something is good or bad and ignores all the context, it kind of makes me a little annoyed because it's ignoring all the fucking context, and the context is what makes it relevant. It's literally a teamwork feat. What it does in of itself is nothing. If you have other team members who have it, then it gives you +2 accuracy on your attacks if you can get those two to focus on the same target in range of that. Might we do that? We might. Especially if we can get it on both our tanks, we might do it. But if we can't get it on both our tanks, it's a lot less valuable. Yeah, exactly. Opportunity cost. Someone has been in this channel for more than 2 minutes and understands that I repeatedly am forced to harp on opportunity cost. I'm not super excited to do that all the time, but it's kind of mandatory. All right. So we need to go back to the existing gold we had before speccing, which is fine. We can do that now. The gold we had was 34,841, but we did pay for one prior respec, so I'm refunding that. So we're going up 10k gold to 44. So let's find that. Okay. 31 minutes. It was close. It was close. All right, I'll choose the prediction then. Outcome is finish respec in 25 minutes. No. Some of you guys double burned this morning. All right. This is going to 44,841 gold confirmed. Okay. Save that up. Close that. Didn't have to select this anymore, but we'll close that too. We want to update it. We do. Okay. Close that up. All right. Should be able to just load into this now. What's the opportunity cost of educating chat about opportunity cost? Any other wisdom I could impart. Or conversations about the game, or just conversations in general. Anything that isn't that. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we might want to. I mean, we might certainly want to get Outflank later. I mean, +2 accuracy bonus is pretty strong. But it's just a matter of right now it doesn't do anything for us. Let's go over our team. I think we're done respecking for the day. I mean, it is almost the end of my day. Oh, man. All right. I mean, we got a couple hours left for sure, but I'm at the sense of, here we go. All right. So what do we have? We have, yeah. Do I have mods in channel? Because this is where the commands need to be updated. All right. Take a quick look here. So, done that. What are we sitting around on? We have our DD Sork tank buffing and Dragon Disciple eventually attacking. Would be good. Gold. We have Chat's Cleric unchanged. So Niablos, Chat's Cleric unchanged. Baracus unchanged. We have changed 3 characters. Took all my gold. What? Fuck is my gold? Ah, shit. Didn't do it right, apparently. What? Alright, I can fix that. Wait, why is it that? I wonder if the save... I guess we're gonna find out. Alright, let me fix that real quick. Thanks for catching that, chat. I might not have noticed, and we might have gone somewhere, then I'd have to have been this shit again. Super annoying. Alright, we are